Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please hit that subscribe button, the like button. Consider donating, since this is what I do to make my money, all right? Gervonta Davis, Connor Benn, fight could become a reality. Could become a reality, okay? Now, for those of you who are saying they're in two different weight classes, how in the world is Gervonta Davis going to bubble up to 147 from 135? We know Gervonta Davis can easily get his weight up to 147. We know a lot of these fighters, they melt down from much higher weights just to get to that moment in time for the weigh-in so they can go forward with the contracted weight and for the fight that they agreed to. But for Connor Benn, for Eddie Hearn, okay, this fight, making this fight it's not that far off, okay? For several reasons, okay? There would be a huge interest in watching this fight because Eddie Hearn and Ellerbe. Now, if they're going to make any fight, the fight to make is Leonard Ellerbe and Eddie Hearn, especially right now, because those two, they don't like each other. They've been going back and forth for years now about who's the better promoter, who knows their job, who doesn't, and especially about Tank Davis. We all know Leonard Ellerbe. He don't play around. He become like Arsenio Hall. If someone said something bad about Eddie Murphy, that's how Leonard Ellerbe was about Tank Davis. Because, you know, Eddie Hearn was known for traveling with a briefcase full of money. The old Don King method. Walk up to a fighter. Hey, brother, why don't you come fight for me? Fighter like, nah, we hear you're shady, Don. Brother, don't say those kind of things. Matter of fact, as a kind gesture, here, take this briefcase full of $500,000, $750,000 worth of money. Don't worry about it. You just let me know what you want to do. Then Don King will reel their ass in, get him into a fight. And that $500,000, $750,000 he gave him, he'd take that shit out of their damn purse. You better believe it. But he would tie up their brain with that briefcase full of money. Now, that's a fact. That's not something I'm saying. That shit is the truth. Because he got Larry Holmes with it. But continuing on, Eddie Hearn was known for traveling around with that briefcase. My understanding is he got the Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis just kind of brushed it off. That's why the cease and desist letter from Mayweather Promotions, Al Heyman, all those guys, Eddie Hearn couldn't even fart in Gervonta Davis's direction. And that's why Eddie Hearn was very particular with what he was saying about Davis. But he also said if Davis became a free agent, they would make him a lucrative offer. And he even said, although jokingly, but he meant it, they would pay him more than the going rate just to poke Leonard Ellerbe. So I think for Eddie Hearn right now, and the position that Connor Benn is in, and the position that Gervonta Davis is in, this would be the perfect opportunity for Eddie Hearn to make this fight. Because one is this, Connor Benn, I'm sure he'll have some comeback fight. He's supposed to have a comeback fight first half of the year. So he'll have some kind of comeback fight. Then after that, could be a potential fight with Gervonta Davis. Connor Benn needs that. Now, for Connor Benn, Davis is much smaller, but Davis is definitely power-wise, arguably probably the heavier hitter. For Connor Benn, for Davis, drug testing definitely is going to be in full effect. Okay? So for Connor Benn, this would be an opportunity for him to enroll definitely in Nevada testing, the UCAD, and to prove that, okay, whatever happened in the past was just a hiccup, a mistake, or I got caught. He got a get out of jail free card. He's allowed to continue his career. And he's not going to make that mistake again. So his opportunity to go through the process, come out clean on the end, and get into a high-profile fight with, I would say, a fighter whose profile and platform is even bigger than Eubank Jr.'s. And it gives him an opportunity to maybe have an advantage weight-wise, kind of like what they were saying Eubank Jr. was going to have going against Connor Benn. Okay? In addition to that, there's going to be a huge interest to see how a guy like Connor Benn will perform against an elite fighter like Tank Davis, although Tank Davis is smaller. Now, for Tank Davis, this does a couple things for him. One, he gets to expand his profile because that fight will probably take place over in the UK. All right. Two, we know with Anthony Joshua, he makes at least $20 million a fight. That's in addition to all of his endorsement deals for apparel, sports, drinks, etc. Okay? So, with Eddie Hearn saying he's willing to pay more than the going rate for Gervonta Davis. Now, of course, you're talking about signing him, but I'm thinking a one-fight deal is something that Gervonta Davis would entertain, and I think Eddie Hearn will be willing to give him $20 million. All right? And if he offers him $20 million to come fight over in the UK, a one-fight deal, portion of the pay-per-view sales, okay? You can't tell me that Tank Davis, now he's not obligated to anything with Mayweather, anything with Ellaby, right? He's his own man. Kind of like Terrence Crawford. You can't tell me that Tank Davis won't possibly seize that opportunity, go fight in the UK and make that kind of money. So let's say in a perfect world, Tank was to take it. And the kind of money that Joshua makes per fight, Tank can go in there and snatch that up. That would be an amazing opportunity for Tank. Now, can Tank win that fight? Of course. No doubt about that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you watch Connor Benn early in his career, you know, he could always fight. You can't take that away from him. He's always had, you know, he had a little spice to him, got a little pop, but he was also early in his career, you know, getting touched, getting wobbled, right? But as his career progressed, there start being little rumors about him possibly being on some kind of enhancement drugs, right? PEDs. When you see a fighter who's getting stronger, right, more powerful, his endurance and stamina is becoming better and better. And his punch resistance has just done a complete 180, right? You got to stop and wonder, how are they able to achieve this? Now, when people think about PEDs, a lot of times they just think, oh, PEDs are going to make them stronger. They're going to come in there and they're going to just, you know, knock out their opponent. Man, when it comes to PEDs, especially the type of PEDs a person is taking, that shit not only makes a fighter stronger by increasing the testosterone levels, it also helps with their endurance, stamina, and punch resistance. So for Connor Benn, if he was on PEDs, his first fight back, not so sure that's going to be a telltale sign that there was some foul play going on with him, because I'm not sure they're going to put him in there with a top 10 or top 10 or top 15 guy. But if he gets in that ring with Gervonta Davis, right, and he's taking all that testing and he gets in there with Gervonta Davis, and Connor Benn, the bigger guy, or some may say stronger guy, gets in there with Davis and he can't handle Davis and Davis blows him out, that's going to say a whole lot about what could have been happening with Connor Benn over the last couple of years with foul play when it comes to PEDs. Okay, because there's been no proof of him cheating in the past, right? But there have been a lot of rumors about him and being on the juice. Even Algieri said he heard that. Algieri still, didn't want to do the VADA testing, and Algieri went through with the fight. And I'm going to be honest with you, that Algieri versus Connor Benn fight, that's the fight that made me say, wow, this guy Connor Benn is really a pit bull, man. Because to him to come and just totally just demolish Chris Algieri the way he did, no one else has done that to him. I was like, this guy's getting stronger and stronger. But I didn't think anything about Peds when it came to Connor Benn. But then you see what happened to what he was attempting to do to Eubank Jr. Makes you wonder what the hell was going on in that Algieri fight. Makes you wonder what's going on in that. He fought that guy with the first round, man. He just, Hispanic fighter, man. I can't remember his name, but I mean, just the guy was all over the place. Okay? Makes you wonder. Same thing with, you look at Margarito and the hand wraps. Makes you wonder. Okay? To this day, Kermit Cintron still talks about that. Getting in the ring and getting beat like that by Margarito. Never, ever had those kind of struggles in a fight. Gets in there with Margarito, he gets beat down. Then Margarito, what he did to Cotto, then his ass got caught, never looked the same after that. Okay? So we're going to find out right now what exactly is going on with Connor Benn. Because if he was cheating, listen. If he was cheating, it's going to show up in his performance. Okay? So when it comes to Gervonta Davis, and you guys saying, how is Gervonta Davis worth $20 million, right? Well, let's just take a look at this right here. Okay? I got something. Where is it? I pulled something up that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, right here. So when you look at this, going back to 2017 for Gervonta Davis and the type of money he was making. Now, I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but I found it out there on an Essentially Sports website. It says, going back to 2017, you can see the kind of money Gervonta Davis was making. Now, we know what Santa Cruz, $1 million plus 50% of the pay-per-views. I just did a video on how these fighters are, as far as them being paid, making decent money, but how the promoters and everything are kind of describing how the fighters are making all this great money, kind of on a curve when compared to the type of money fighters were making during the Mayweather era. All right, I'm not gonna get into that. You can go watch the video. It's about fighters getting paid on a curve. I just did it. I did it yesterday, I believe. Go check it out. But we know for the Santa Cruz fight, him getting $1 million guaranteed pay-per-view shares, right? With Tank Davis, this man's making about, I'd say, between 15 and 25 million as far as pay-per-view, and he's getting 50% of that. This is where we start talking about guys like Tank and Leonard Ellaby saying, Tank's making good money. Don't worry about Tank. He's making more money than everybody, right? That's what Ellaby was saying. That's what Tank was saying. Tank won't disclose how much. But when you look at the fact that he gets a guarantee of $1 million, and then he comes in his pay-per-views, and let's say the pay-per-view is, he's hitting right around between, like I said, like 10, 12, 18 million, he's getting 50% of that. So on top of that one, you can drop another 6 to 9 million on top of that. So for the fight, you get about 10 million. Now we know for Barrios, Tank made, they say 5 million. He made more than 5 million for that Barrios fight. Tank made more like 15 million for that Barrios fight. So Tank Davis is making good money. Now, as far as Tank going into this fight on January 7th, I'm not sure what the numbers are, if he's getting 50% of the pay-per-view sales, 75%, what his guarantee is, right? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you that it's going to be more. His guarantee should be more than $1 million. And I can't see his pay-per-view share being anything less than 50%. So I would expect Tank Davis on this January 7th to probably make between $12 and $20 million, because the pay-per-views are going to do, I believe, very well. So when you think about the fact that Tank doesn't need Connor Benn for a $20 million payday, or to get close to a $20 million payday, Eddie Hearn's going to have to offer him something really, really good. But I think 20 million may be the sweet spot. A guarantee. See, that's the difference. If he can give him a guarantee of 20 million, in addition to that, some pay-per-view sales, Tank Davis would seriously consider it. Because now Tank Davis could be looking at making, damn $30 million for one fight. So there have been talks about Tank Davis and who's going to be the next Mayweather to become a billionaire. And the consensus is most fighters, boxing experts, and people in the boxing community, they feel Tank Davis is the one to take boxing to the level that Mayweather took it and maybe beyond. But the main difference between a guy like Tank Davis and a guy like Floyd Mayweather, personalities. Floyd Mayweather has an outgoing personality. He doesn't mind dancing. He's always, in front of the camera. He doesn't mind being the villain. He doesn't mind talking crap. He knows how to market himself. Tank Davis isn't quite like that. But I think the more he shows his personality, the more people will gravitate towards him, and the more that will help to grow his profile. But that being said, when you look at, there's my son calling me. When you look at Tank Davis, you look at Connor Benn, you look at Eddie Hearn, you look at the kind of money that Tank is already making, and you look at the kind of money he could be making going to a fight with Connor Benn. You look at the fact that Tank is his own man now. He learned everything he could from Mayweather, and now he's out. It's like you ever see birds, right? And they have the little hatchlings. After a while, they start to get the little feathers and stuff, and then they got to go take flight. And they get their ass kicked out the nest. And it's either you fly or you die. And I think in the case we're seeing with Gervonta Davis, he's choosing to go first. He's jumped out the nest, and I personally think he's going to soar. But I have a feeling this year Tank Davis is going to make a lot of money. Now, before I end this video, please like and subscribe. Consider donating. Tank Davis at 135. Oh, that's the other thing I want to say. For him to come from 135 past 140, 147, they're going to have to pay him too. So that $20 million is the sweet spot. But the other thing I'm going to say about Tank Davis, at 135, 140, Tank Davis, none of those guys are beating Tank Davis. I don't care. And this thing people are saying about Tank's fought nobody, Tank's a bum, stop, hold your horses, don't take it to the stupid, all right? Tank is not a bum. Y'all can say what you want. You can recognize when a fighter has special hands. Something special about that man's hands. When he touches somebody, he does something to him. You look at sparring videos, you look at his fights, you look at that clip when he was like 7, 8 years old, and that kid was hitting him, and Tank just let one shot go and had that kid was off on Sesame Street somewhere, wasn't he? There's something special about his hands. It's just something you're born with. He has it. But that being said, Gervonta Davis, I believe, could be lured into a Connor Benn fight this year. Eddie Hearn, got to be willing to put up that AJ money to get Tank in the UK and to give him a percentage of those pay-per-view sales where Tank can go on and get a $20 million guarantee and probably make even more with a portion of pay-per-view sales. That's what I see. That's my prediction, but we'll find out if I'm right or wrong. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, people from all 7 continents. And I am in, let me get this damn cursor to work. I'll use that one right. Anyway, I'm in the breeze.